All right. Good morning, everyone. Welcome to Pre-Market Prep. I hope you're having an amazing morning. Hopefully, you had an incredible long weekend. Good morning, Peter. How you doing today?
Good morning, Carlos. I'm good. Looks like we both donned some Easter colors for this Easter
Yes,
Monday.
absolutely, my friend. Yes, yes. Hopefully, for those that celebrate, hopefully you had an amazing Easter, a great long weekend. I sure did enjoy myself, Peter. And how about you?
Yeah, my girls were back over the long weekend, and it's always good to have family back home. So it was a busy house. Now we just got to clean up the mess. So
Yes. Oh yeah. But absolutely. All right, guys. Let's get to it. Thank you for Jad for engineering the markets here in our chat room for the members. Appreciate that very much. Giving us every Monday an overall look of the market, where things are heading, where things could possibly be heading, because obviously we don't know the answer to that. Our guest could be as good as Peter's magic eight ball. But aside of that, we good perspective on where how things are laying out and some possible sideways action, especially a lot of stuff coming up this week, which Peter will talk about in a second. Before we jump into that, guys, let's take a quick look at our gappers list. And you can always have these scanners available at tradingterminal.com. Guys, click on scanners and you can have access to these exact same scanners here. And you can edit them as well. You can edit them and make and have your criteria set the way you will like them. At the moment, we have a couple of things in the green, a couple in the red. Not a whole lot of movement in stocks yet. The SPY and the overall Qs definitely have more movement this morning. We'll dive into that in just a second. But some names here: MU and Tesla, which are MU not that exciting, but Tesla sure is. So we'll see what's causing Tesla to drop this morning, and we'll dive into some stuff here. Peter, a lot going on this week, especially as we start diving into also earnings season. It's starting to kind of start a little slow right now, but we'll be should be
yeah,
picking up soon.
it's gonna start very slow this week. It's really next week when things pick up. And as Jared was outlining and enjoying the markets, if you're an elite member and you're in the chat room, but yeah, it's we'll ease our way into it.
Absolutely. Let's get to the market pulse and kind of see what's scheduled for today and some stuff happening this week.
Okay, so not much happening to start this week so far. Keep in mind that it's a holiday in parts of the world, which may keep volumes down, but it is a full week in North America, and I'm hoping that we're going to see some good price action. Last week was pretty slow, especially if you were with me in the afternoons. We were keeping each other awake and focused despite the lower volumes. Today on the economic calendar here in North America, we only have the wholesale inventories at 10 a.m. Um, and not a lot of earnings, as we'll see when we get to the gappers. If I look around the world, it seems we've got a little bit of a mixed story today. North America markets are down about 0.5%. Oh, I can't speak. While European markets are up about 0.5%. So we'll see where that settles out. I think really we just got to wait and see what's going to start moving and make our best bets.
Yep, absolutely. Could be one of these slow days, like you said, like we had last week. We had a few of those that were watching paint dry, as we would like to say. But yeah, guys, let's dive into what we do have here. Well, I know we have CPI this week, right? Is that Wednesday? So
Yeah, that's coming up later in the week. Is it Wednesday? I don't even know. I didn't
I
look that far
I
ahead.
overheard. I was listening to the radio in the background, so I'm running around doing
Yeah,
all kinds
it's
of
Wednesday.
stuff. It is Wednesday. Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
So we might have this sideways action until that comes up. We know how our markets love to have CPI data push things around, but we'll see. What's causing? I haven't looked into what's causing this drop this morning. If you look at the SPY now, right? We'll look at
Mhm.
the 5 minute. We have a daily. We had a drop starting around 7:15, which seems to be with a lot of volume. And we also had the Qs doing the exact same thing. So I'm not sure what if there's any news pertaining to that drop in the last couple of minutes, but seems like there's something happening there. Um,
Yeah, I didn't see anything specific come out in the news, but some of our members might know. They tend to often have the details. Didn't have hot numbers in China. That's what Dan F is saying. So, yeah, I don't. Not that shouldn't have a direct impact, but I suppose
on
it's
not on
possible.
everything, right?
Yeah.
But yeah, there's got to be something else going on too, but we will see. All right, guys, let's dive into it. Let's start with our gap up list this morning. Let's look at GFAI. So GFAI. This has been in our list up and down here a couple of times. This morning they're up again. This time 21%. Look at the last 5 trading days. So it's been up a huge day. This would have been on the third of last week. Dropped again and back up on Friday. And today we're gapping up 21% with 1.1 million shares traded. Now, I have somewhat been staying away from this. It's just so erratic and the way it trades. So you got to be a little bit careful with it. But it is in play. It does look good, Peter. I mean, this thing is definitely rocking this morning.
Yeah, we'll see where it goes. Interestingly, there's all sorts of news now as everybody's jumping on the AI bandwagon. There was a warning of a valuation bubble, as they're calling it, concern that the AI stocks are overvalued in terms of what they're going to actually deliver, which, like we've been talking about for a couple of weeks here, happens all the time when you get these hot sectors, right? Everybody gets all excited. Sometimes the prices move faster than the company prospects actually warrant, and then you see it sort of come back to reality once they actually have to either start producing a product, have their first earnings report, or whatever the cycle brings. So we'll see what happens. GFAI, like you said, still looks strong at the moment, and it could keep going because we don't know you never know how long these things are going to last until it's over. So.
Yeah, I agreed. I'm gonna add them here as a secondary, or maybe even I know is it a low flow? I don't even know if it's a low flow stock. Let's check here.
Not really. It's float is
Oh
what
yeah,
is it? Wait a
1.1.
second.
Yeah, it
It
actually
is.
is.
It is
It
a
is.
low
Yeah,
float.
I didn't think it was, but
Yeah.
we'll add it as our low flow for the day, guys. It's very active, up 21%. Again, pre-market looks very good. Just again, be very careful. You do not need to take a whole bunch of shares to get a great move out of this thing. All right, next on the list we have PXD. Well, just moved there. IFRX. No, this doesn't look good. I don't recall seeing this last week. Gap up, but yeah, I don't like the price action at all. It is not a low flow stock. It's a 37 million shares float, but definitely not one of my favorites here. So we will skip on this one, Peter, unless you tell me there's a good reason to watch it. I
No,
will
it's a
skip on.
German biotech. It's not quite a low float, about 37, 38 million shares in the float. Like most biotechs, they move when they have drug news, which this one did. It was last week when they had approval for a COVID treatment. So that's why it's got attention. But like you said, the volume's actually pretty low. It doesn't look that great to me.
Yeah, yeah. Well, let's head over to the next one here, PXD, and this is up 6.4. Higher price stock with very, very light volume, guys. Even the last couple of days, we've seen some movement out of this. These type of stocks, I mean, the liquidity on this thing and the spread can be horrible, and I don't think it gets any better. So, typically not something I would like to watch. So I'm definitely won't be having this on my list. Looks like they got some good news. Pioneer Natural Resource might be the name. It's cut off
Yep.
there. Um,
Yeah, this is oil and gas. The rumor this morning is that ExxonMobil is shopping. And
mm,
when they go shopping, they have deep pockets to do it with. So there's rumors that they were in talks with a couple of companies, including this one, Pioneer Resources, a number of shale oil and gas companies they've been talking with. But Pioneer seems to be one of the ones at the forefront of that rumor mill, which is why they're popping up. Now, keep in mind, this is a rumor, right? That they've been talking. There's been no confirmation or denial from either company. And as we've talked about before, what can happen is once that confirmation or denial happens, the stock will move. Appropriately. So, it could be the Pioneer comes out and says, "What talks? No talks." Whether that's true or not doesn't matter, but the stock will react. Or they say, "Yes, we're in talks and no news yet," in which case we know the stock's going to leap up. So just keep that in mind that this could go quickly either way, depending on what gets confirmed or denied today, or they may say nothing.
yeah, yeah. Which again, scary to begin with. Just looking at it alone by the technicals is not something that looks great right now. It might not even look great at all because just the nature of the stock. If you look at it, the volume is extremely, extremely light. All right, let's take a look. Next, we have so MU is on our list today. These guys are up 5.8 this morning, so a nice pop for them. 665,000 shares traded, so that looks good there. Any news on our good old buddy MU?
Well, interestingly, they they think that the news isn't directly against them. Basically, the Samsung has cut production on some of their chips, which they think will provide a better market and better price performance for chips of some of the other companies. So we may see a couple of these chip manufacturers jump as a result. Micron is taking advantage of that, and we're seeing them bump up. Like we talked about before, though, right? You got to be careful. Micron and Intel are the two that you always think should perform well in this sector and don't usually. I always end up going back to AMD and Nvidia as the ones that just tend to get the price action and the volume and move well. But anyways, the news on Micron is they're taking advantage of. So they had an upgrade as well, by the way, but mostly about the production cuts happening on Samsung in this market.
Okay. But worth adding here, guys. I think their pre-market action looks interesting. We'll put them on the list. Not that there's a whole lot to watch today, so MU on our list this morning. Again, I'm not too excited about this one because we've seen this type of action before, and they just straight horrible. But let's see. There was one day, I think it was here, where they gapped up just like this, and we actually traded it. A lot of us took this trade, and they actually did very well. But that is definitely not the norm at all when it comes to MU. So we'll see what today brings. Another one that's just showing up on our list here is SCHW. This is Charles Schwab, and they are up 2.2. It's 397. Typically not a great trader. Not sure what's causing them to bounce this morning. But yeah, typically not something I will watch on my list anyway. See what's gapping down today. We have FRC. These are the banks that been having such a tough time. They are down now 4.2, 865. And again, I don't know if they're really tradable. I'm not sure what news they got going on today as we get the morning going.
Yeah, this one has been jumping on and off the hard to borrow list, or or they've cut at the shorts. So just be aware of that you may or may not be able to play it short. You might only be able to play it long. There's some general news in the banking sector been happening over the weekend as they either stabilize or report that they've got some still some ongoing issues that they're watching. First Republic is sort of caught up in that. I don't have anything specific on them other than they announced that on their premium shares. I can't remember the share. I guess they're preferred stock. So this would be. It's not this stock class, but on a different stock class. They're suspending their dividend. So the reason why it's affecting this and why the FRC is down is generally just because, of course, it's seen as bad news against the company, right? You'd only suspend your dividend if you're having financial problems or there's something else that you're working through. So I think that's why we're seeing FRC here today, and it could be continued bad news. This might be a candidate for a drop at the open, but like Carlos is saying, just be aware of how it moves. It can move. In an unfriendly manner towards someone that's trying to trade it over the short term.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So again, I've been staying away from this. I haven't now really touched this banking drop that we had and some of the squeezes, the aggressive squeezes that we have, like this one here, guys. I mean, 69 down to 45 and then back up to, I mean, it's just wild, right? And we had a couple of these here for 21 up to about almost 40. So it's just been wild. Not as aggressive lately, but still can pull some of those moves. It's so dependent on news too, and I think a lot of it coming up in the next couple of weeks too, or next 2 weeks or so. It's once these banking starts reporting. Will be interesting to see what other banks are in trouble here because that's going to say a lot. Here is so I won't have that on my list, but here's JD. JD's down 3.2, 263,000 shares traded. Has not been having fun lately. From the highs of 44, looks like all the way to 39. I'm not sure what to think about this one. I mean, it could be a hit or miss. I've seen you guys take great trades on this. I personally have not touched it yet. In When I say yeah, I mean like in the last year, because this used to be one of our amazing tickers back in the days. But yeah, I'm not sure. Maybe a possible today. I'm not aware of anything on this.
Yeah, I'm not sure why it's gapping down. There's actually some good news on it, or at least there's an analyst report that was talking about their ability to effectively use capital, and they're getting a very strong return on their capital. But other than that, I didn't see any other news on JD. Now, keep in mind, there was some negative financial news in general out of China. That the Chinese market is expected to see further slowdowns. That would obviously affect JD being a Chinese-based company, but I'm not sure why is JD being affected then more than some of its compatriots, if you will, in the space. They're all generally down this morning, but JD seems to be down just a little bit more than the rest.
All right. I'm gonna add it here as a pasta. Again, it looks decent here, not great, but let's see what comes out of it. Here's SQ. Now, SQ, if you guys remember, a few weeks ago we had the short report released on this. I forget the
Mm.
company name. It's a popular one. Obviously, had this effect on it, and since then it's been climbing back a little bit. Today they're down 3%. Not a whole lot of volume though. Only 107,000 shares traded. So I think this is just overall market movement. Not sure there's any news that I'm aware of specifically
It-
to SQ.
yeah, it was the purposely ironically named company Hindenburg, I'm
Yeah.
sure,
Yep.
that released that short report on them. When was it? Almost 2 weeks ago now. This is probably still bounces against it. I don't see anything new on that front. So.
Yeah, yep. Let's take a look at Tesla. So Tesla here, some good action. 3 million shares traded almost. 2.9 at the moment, down 2.6. And again, this is going on our list, of course. It's been so fun to trade. Even if you're not trading, if you're trading something else, it's fun to watch the action on it. But today they're down, and we had some situation happen in China with this one we were talking about earlier, Peter.
Well, yeah, I mean, Tesla released some news that should have been good news for them, that they are expanding their mega the gigafactory for battery production in China. That is, and it's supposed to be a very big expansion. So, generally, expansion of the business and growth of that market is seen as a good thing by investors. But that coming on the same day that China's announcing a slowdown, is problematic because, of course, as they're planning to invest heavily in a market that's experiencing slowdowns, that's just where you get nervousness, right, on the side of investors. So I think we're seeing it gap down because it's got the interest. You can see, look at the volume, already 2.8 million shares, 2.9 now million shares traded so far this morning. So it's very active. This could go either way at the open because, again, the news directly for Tesla is actually relatively good about their investment and what they're doing, but it's in the backdrop of a very downward or negative economy. So keep that in mind, and whatever happens, we know Tesla moves every day, right? So.
Yes, it does.
Um, the other thing that some of our members are mentioning, and I actually discounted this news, but they're talking about Tesla, the price cuts. I mean, they said that they were planning to cut prices a long time ago, and this is just a continuation of that. I mean, I suppose that could be having an impact if people forgot that that's what they said that they were going to do, and now they're just actually doing it. But perhaps that's what's also bringing it down.
Yeah. Daily looking good right here, guys. Holding on to an area that was prior support. Let's see if we can bounce from there. That was our low of Friday, but man, it's a lot of selling pressure against it today, this morning. So we'll see where this is going to go today. But looking good, guys. Very active pre-market activity. You also have, again, the SPY and the Qs continuing to kind of sell down here from the highs of the pre-market. We're actually in the green this morning. At least the SPY was, not the Qs, and we've seen a very nice or at least decent drop in the last couple of minutes or hour and a half or so. All right, last on our list, XBEF. So we'll take a look at that one this morning, and no, not a great pre-market action at all. This is just kind of overall market movement, I would think. Really not a ticker that is in play this morning. All right, excellent. Peter, anything that you're looking at this morning that you like?
We talked about most of them. The only other one that I would mention is, well, we sort of talked about the acquisition of the resource company PDX when it came up, Pioneer. You might want to watch Exxon. because they're the ones that are acquiring. Usually, the acquirer's share value drops. Now, Exxon is such a massive company that even the news of a billion or multi-billion-dollar acquisition may not affect the stock. But if you're interested in XOM, would be the stock ticker on that. It's a NYSE stock, and there's no really volume pre-market, so I mean, it doesn't look like anything right now. But it's one of the few things that actually has news and is moving. The other one that I would mention to take a look at is both Walmart potentially and Capital One. Capital One Financial is basically they're in partnership with Walmart, and Walmart is apparently going to be suing them and trying to terminate the partnership with them. So COF is the symbol for Capital One Financial. Not really seeing much of a reaction, but once again, we're looking at a NYSE stock which doesn't do much pre-market. But I've got to believe it's going to react when the opening bell rings. So if that news interests you and you like the sector, then that might be something to look at. I'll just take this opportunity to mention as well, for some of our members, if you use 2-minute charts in the DAS platform, every time there's a long weekend, right? Often those 2-minute charts don't pull in enough data. You'll get blank charts. All you got to do is go to the far left-hand side there until you get that left arrow, and then pull in enough data that it'll snap in your chart. There you go, just like Carlos is doing right there. It'll snap in and bring the data to you. So if you haven't done that and you're seeing, why the heck is my chart blank? That's probably why. It seems to be a specific issue that happens on the 2-minute chart because of the time frame of the data it's trying to access, and you don't have there's no previous day, right? So
yeah. All right, thank you for that, Peter. All right, guys, let's get into it. Let's see what we have here this morning. Let's see what tickers you guys like on both sides here, either on YouTube or also in our chat. Let's start with our chat here. What do we have? AAPI. AAPI, or do you mean Apple? Is that a lowercase L? I would think so. Yes. AA. That would be Apple. Yes. So let's look at Apple this morning. Almost 500,000 shares traded right now. Pretty much down 1.3. And again, I just think this overall SPY movement. So if the SPY continues to sell, if the Qs continue to sell down, meaning the overall market, then we can go and start looking at our usual suspects, right? Apple. Obviously, Tesla does this better than anybody else in the last couple of I want to say 8 months. If you want to pick a number, it seems like forever. You could look at your usual suspects. How are Nvidia? Yeah, Nvidia also dropping down a bit here. So I think that there's some other tickers that I think tend to do it better than Apple recently, right? And Nvidia is one of them, guys. Nvidia and Tesla both can move with the market very well. You see Nvidia here also looking very nice and very active. Although Apple has more volume, you can see how better Nvidia looks as far as the overall trading. So, but either one is great. We'll have to see how the market opens. What is cleaner on Apple, though, Peter, let me know your thoughts on this, is the daily. The daily, although we haven't seen great intraday action, their daily seems to be pretty clean when it comes to Apple.
yeah, you're right. They've been a tougher trade, I find, recently, but I keep watching them. I keep hoping
Yeah, me too.
they'll
I
come
put them.
back. They
Yeah,
always do.
yeah. I put them on the list even when I know it's like, there's better things to watch, and I don't know if it's fear of missing out, man. When it starts actually cranking up, Apple could be an amazing trader. So, but Nvidia, it looks very good today. AMD, again, also looks great today. I don't want to have too many. I'm going to put AMD as a secondary. We'll leave room for other things that might possibly be in play that are not in this overall tech type sector. So we'll see what else is out there. Adham, we looked at Nvidia. Microsoft is another one that you can look at as well. That one also dropping a bit here. So if you prefer Microsoft over an Apple, over an Nvidia, AMD, you can look at this. But I think from my tech side of things, Tesla, Nvidia, and Apple are pretty good for the moment. Let's see if we find anything else that's not within these walls. Let's look at Amazon at the moment. Yeah, same here. Lighter volume. Doesn't look all that hot right now, though. I'll tell you that. I think there's some other ones that look better. But I think we just gotta wait the market open and see how the overall market is going to react. Right now, both down a bit. We just have to see before the market open, and then you can pick your favorite. If it's going to be a day where the market's going to kind of push things around and dictate how we trade today, right? Because there's not a whole lot of news out there, like you mentioned earlier, Peter. There's not when it comes to independent news, we haven't kicked in into earnings season yet, so there's really nothing out there that's sticking out on its own for us to look at the moment. AMD secondary, Peter, you okay with that? Says Pino in chat. uh,
I'll live. That's okay.
yeah, yeah.
Sometimes it deserves to be on the secondary. That's fair.
Oh man, look at this. You guys remember Tupperware? Yeah, that was a ticker before that was actually trading pretty high uh, in the 36. If you guys forgot, during the pandemic season, this thing took a crazy hit and it rebound. I mean, it was just massive. But they're down at $1.42 where they were back in 2020, February, April. I mean, is this company going bankrupt? I mean, what's happening? I
You
mean,
know,
who's buying this?
yeah, I don't know. That's a good question. Well, it's funny you should say that because one of the analyst report was that came out either yesterday or earlier this morning was about whether they can continue to sustain their business model over the long term. So, I mean, people are still buying, Tupperware, but they don't have a lock on the market, right? I mean,
Hmm.
I mean, last time you bought a plastic container to keep your leftovers in, was it Tupperware? You probably have no idea, even if it was, right? So, yeah, it's interesting to me that they still got a business on this, but
Also, let me
we'll,
ask you, Peter. This is all plastic. They don't sell no glass.
as far as I know,
Ooh, that's tough.
I
That's
really
very
don't
tough.
know their business model.
Yeah, yeah. No, no. It's if it is, man, it's a tough business because yeah, I don't know who buys plastic. I mean, I'm sure that people do, but yeah, that's tough. Um,
Yeah.
All right, yeah. This for me, this does not fit my trading criteria, guys. Under $5, and it gets messy when they get here, right? We've seen AMC do this when it gets really low like this. Carvana's done this before. BBBY also when they start getting this low, man, they're difficult to trade.
I'm just
BBBY,
I'm looking deeper into the news.
wow,
Interestingly, they also issued one of their securities filings said, and this is a quote from it: some recent financial statements should be restated and no longer relied upon. So, as we learned last week, right, and many times before, as soon as a company says we may need to restate our financials, never a good thing. So that could be why they're dropping. But as Carlos pointed out, I mean, we're already talking about almost a penny stock. So
yeah,
it's
yeah.
it's tough to get good moves on this, and the bounces can be out of proportion on a percentage basis. So just be careful you don't get hurt.
Yeah. Thinking about this one and looking at that price, I just pulled up BBBY and look at this, man. So sad. 31 cents. I mean, this is
Wow.
just insane. Um,
Yeah.
and again, I like their stores. Their stores are nice. But yeah, not having fun here.
And
Um,
look at how many times people thought, had hope and thought, oh, yeah, this
yeah,
is where the recovery is going to happen. Like that's what those spikes basically are, right?
right,
A little
right.
bit of hope. They had some good news. Oh, they're on the road to recovery, and of course, clearly the overall trend is telling you that was not accurate.
Yeah, yeah. The only people making money here are the ones that are actually that know this is pushing it up at like a Wall Street bet. But if you're in here not knowing what's happening, oh, they're turning around and have no clue on the market and get in here for a long opportunity, man, you are hurting. But I know that's not you guys because
Yeah.
you guys are very smart traders. So that's nobody here. Um,
This has definitely been a short the spike type of trade. If you had the guts to do that, you could have made some big money off of it.
yeah, 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 I agree, man. It's so scary though, right? You could be at 16, 20 and it goes to 30.
Yeah,
It's
exactly.
like what
That's
is
that.
happening, right?
Yeah.
It's just yeah, it's now it's at 31 cents. It's just massive movements.
Yeah.
Let's take a look at AI. AI has been hot, as Peter mentioned earlier. Anything with AI now seems to be the talk of the town. AI took this one specifically has some issues, right? So they besides the AI talk, these guys have some accounting issues which caused this
Right.
massive drop. So this is not representative of just the AI conversation overall. And again, right now they're pretty much flat with some volume. You got to be careful with this one. You got to be very in tune with the news and what's going on. It might just move sideways. It might just be stuck in a trend for the next couple of days until either people get more confident on it or something comes out saying, "Hey, this is actually something good to actually watch, or the report was wrong. So we will see. I don't like it. I'll stay away from it. All right, guys. I think we have a pretty good list for the start of this Monday. A little bit quiet, but that's okay. Peter, let's give everybody an overview of what's coming up this week. I'm going to go straight to the website to get the latest and greatest of some of the webinars that we have coming up.
Well, you bet. Well, as always, we got a full roster of things to do this week. So, our schedule for all those that are new or need a refresher on it. Every Monday, we have our onboarding and technology class that Carlos himself leads. That's at 8 o'clock. It's a great introduction to the Bearable Traders community, as well as to trading overall. If you've got questions, that's a great place to go to try and get them answered. So hopefully you'll join us at 8 o'clock for that onboarding session. On Tuesdays, we talk strategy. And this Tuesday, it looks like Thor is going to be with us. Thor is going to be talking about how to read the order book. Always a popular topic and always popular sessions when Thor gets on the microphone because, he's so successful in his trading and he's learned how to manage that so well that it's worth paying attention to. So once again, 8 o'clock in the webinar room. Next week, Andrew's going to be with us talking about his opening range breakouts. Take advantage of that because Andrew's, well, he's out a lot, doing a lot of mountain climbing as he's getting ready for Everest, which is one of the big events happening for us here in the community. We're looking forward to that. We're all living vicariously through Andrew, but he's still managing to find time to trade and to be with us to give a webinar in the room. So stay tuned for that on Tuesday, April 18th. Wednesdays are all about psychology, and like I was telling you last week, this week's is a little early, right? So this Wednesday, we got Kreta back with us, and whenever Kreta's doing her sessions live, she's in Europe, so it's going to be at 5 o'clock. So keep that in mind. It's an earlier time, but same place in the webinar room. She's going to be talking about how to neutralize pressure, and we all know there's a ton of pressure on you when you're trading. So understanding how to better manage that is a key, a key skill you should learn in the trading game. So please join us for that session. And then next week, Mike is going to be talking about how to increase your trading discipline. A good sort of two-part session there, because once you neutralize the pressure, then you can increase your discipline, and they go hand in glove. Thursdays are all about mentorship, and this Thursday, like most Thursdays, we've got John and Thor with us at 11 and 8 p.m. respectively. So hopefully you'll join for that. All of our elite members can access both of those sessions. It's included in your membership package, and we have those happening at 11 a.m. in the webinar room, and then 8 p.m. with Thor. So that's really what we got going this week and next week. So hopefully you'll join us for those sessions and take advantage of all of that. If you want to do so and you're not currently a member, well, here are your options on the screen. You can try an intro membership. Now, that will not give you access to the webinars we were just talking about. It will give you access to some of our recorded material and give you a feel for what the education center is like. Every webinar that we do gets recorded and put into our center so that you can always have access to a version of it, and it's there and available. But if you just want to see what this education center might be like and what you can take advantage of, we'll do it for free. You might as well join on the intro membership. Then, if you're interested, you can get access to our chat rooms as well as our educational material using our basic, our elite, or of course the best deal, which is the elite annual. Now, this is a Monday, despite being a holiday here in Canada and elsewhere. We've got a full slate of activities because in the U.S. it is not a holiday, which means that not only do we have our regular chat room going with all our stock talk, we have the options chat room, which will be starting up momentarily if it's not already running. And you can join both Megan and Jared in the options chat room, which goes Monday, Wednesdays, and Fridays. So hopefully you'll join us in one of those two chat rooms. So with that, I would also remind you, if you need data, you know where to go. Hopefully you know where to go. If you don't, it's tradingterminal.com. Go there, and we have everything from a trade simulator to news, stock information, earnings as they're coming up will be there so you can see them. Carlos is showing you the customized scanners that you can get and make your own. So you can get those right in tradingterminal.com. As well as said, pretty much we're trying to make it your one-stop shop for all your trading needs, including, there's in-depth training material in the academy. We got everything going on in there. So check it out. See what, see how you can use it for your trading. with that, we'll set a couple of levels and then we'll get ready for the open.
Thank you very much, Peter. Appreciate that. Yeah, guys, that trading terminal scanner, man, it is play around with the menus there. It is really, really nice. There's a lot of stuff on there. I myself started playing a little bit more with it, and there's new fees, there's charts. I mean, you have it all there, so definitely take advantage of it. Very,
The
very
other
powerful
thing
tool.
Yeah, the other thing
Mhm.
I should mention, Carlos, I don't know if you've got a screen on it, but we are just getting started for to bring on new people who are interested in our boot camp. So, Peak Capital Trading, we have an intensive boot camp which helps traders sort of hone their skills. It's not really meant for a brand new traders, but if you've been trading for a little bit of time and you're really looking to accelerate that trading journey or really hone some specific skills, this intensive boot camp could help you. Now, that's a paid service, but you get a ton of material. You get live trading classes. We sort of trade with you live to help you through that. We've got tons of like unique trading material. We take you through a trade book building process that goes over the course of almost 3 months. You really check it out if you're interested. If you've got questions, we're all here to answer them. Mike sort of leads that, but any one of us, you can reach Mike at pcapitaltrading.com or myself, Peter, at pcapitaltrading. We're happy to answer your questions. John and I lead two cohorts of people through this boot camp every quarter, well, 3 times a year as we do it, and it can be a good opportunity. So many people that have gone through it have seen a lot of value. So if you've got questions about it, check it out. If you're interested, then yeah, go to peakcapitaltrading.com and you can find out more. So there you go. There's my little pitch on it, but just wanted to let you know that I think it's open now to accept membership, because some of our members were saying that they had joined and were eager to see us there in the boot camp. So there you go.
Yeah, absolutely. Registration is open as right there on top of the website. You can see that link to be able to register. All right, guys, let's get started here. Let's see what we have on deck. We have MU, Tesla, Nvidia, and Apple all just kind of moving with the market right now. We're not seeing anything sticking out that is heavily in play. So we'll do levels for these four, and then we'll see what the market open brings. Maybe some opportunities there as we get closer to 9:30. Right now, high of the pre-market on MU is 62.50. So we will slam a level there as you guys slam a thumbs up over on YouTube. We appreciate it very, very much this morning. And what are we sitting at? 80. So 80 likes so far, which is not bad as we move into this new channel and try to build things there. So thank you for that. Let's see here, 60.71, low of the pre-market, and then towards the bottom, we do have our highs and lows for the last two trading days here. You do have a level that we could put, looks like here at around 59.85. Might actually be 60 if you zoom in, but you can see here clearly this is definitely an area you want to mark down before you get to your highs and lows of the last two trading days. So that is it for MU here. Again, looking very good after 7, but this is where, kind of the overall market started pushing things around and kind of having its way here where a lot of the tickers on our list today. 63.53, and more of a, possible level there, not a whole lot of weight, but this one here is a little bit better. 64, so a whole dollar plus. You do have some resistance happening there as well. Let's take a look at Tesla, one of our favorite stocks to trade. We're kind of hovering around the low of not Friday, this would be Thursday. And that's definitely a level there, so that's noted for you already. I am going to mark down the low of this range. We had a couple of back and forth action here. So this is around 177.95, right? So kind of an area because nothing is hitting that to the T. There's several different price ranges around here, but a 77.95, I'm going to take that there. That could be an area we might be getting into as we continue to drop. Towards the top, guys, I think you're pretty set. Previous day closed. The last two trading days pretty much have you covered there. A little bit lower here, you do have an area around 174.45 as well. We will mark that there just in case you do continue to drop here on Tesla. Already down almost 3%, guys. This stock was hanging out in the green. And around this time here, the market came in and kind of flipped things on it. So that is Tesla for you there. Plus, they have some Chinese news, but it looks like the market is pushing this a little bit more. Here is Nvidia. Nvidia also very active, and it can trade very well, especially when the market is explosive as it's looking to be now. 266.50 is the low of the pre-market on this one. We're kind of stuck between the highs and lows of the last two trading days. We got a little bit of a range going here. This has been a range in the past as well. You see a lot of resistance right around that 270. Right, so we were able to gap up or get above it about 4 days, and we slammed right back into this range again. And the low of this seems to be where we're hanging out right now, in the low of the pre-market, this 266.55, which is noted for you there already. So again, just a lot going on there for Nvidia. Towards the bottom, if we're to lose this, we do have a nice level here over at 258.69. I think that's pretty good for now for when it comes to Nvidia. Towards the bottom. If we do go towards the top, you have a great level of 275. You can see great resistance there, plus a little bit of support happening around that price target as well. Let's take a look at Apple. So Apple this morning, what we have going on here, their day looks great. Pre-market action looks not bad. We're kind of moving with the overall market as almost everything this morning. But I like this area of support that we have here. This has been an area where they found support plenty of times a couple of days ago, and also the last two trading days. This would have been Wednesday and Friday. Below that, we can mark down right over here, 160.69. It's a good one, and clearly this is a great level of support, guys. 158.01. That's a stretch today. We need to see a lot of weakness from the market to get to that 158. If Apple's going to drop that much, there is a minor area of support resistance here as well. 160 might be 159.43 actually. We'll mark that down, but the heavyweight is going to be here on this one, because clearly we all could see there's a level there of support that Apple has respected over the last couple of days. And that's it, guys. MU, Tesla, Nvidia, and Apple. That is my list for today. I mean, again, quiet start right now, so we kind of get the week going here after a long weekend from the market, off from the market. Someone mentioned, well, not in Europe, right? So if you guys didn't have a long weekend there, but the markets were close, and we're back trying to pick things up. So, anything else, Peter, that we might look at, or?
No, I think we've got all the stuff that I want to look at this morning. I mean, really, the only other one I might mention is Rivian. Rivian had some news that actually not directly against Rivian, but Rivian and Lucid, there was sort of a hit report almost that sort of saying that they're falling behind Polestar and some others just in their production and their business model. So I'll keep an eye on it just to see if there's any impact. It may shrug it off and not have much of an impact, but that's the only other thing I've got.
Yep. All right. Guys, let's take a look at our moderators list this morning. I do have a couple of tickers here, so I'll bring this over. As I'm doing this, if you haven't done so already, please smash that thumbs up over on YouTube. We appreciate it very much. It does help us out a ton. So if you're enjoying the content, we would love to have your support. All right, let's see what our moderators are looking at this morning. I'm gonna bring this over. And Peter's reporting no IPOs, no SPACs for today. Let's see here. Someone's asking me, are those the trade? Yes, these are the trading terminal scanners right on here. So here's the issue I have. So you guys mentioned, oh, it goes off here and there. Yeah, it does, because it is web based. So for the pre-market show, it's a little bit tough to keep it in the same layout. So if you see it off a little bit, I'm aware of it. But it's not like other scanners where they'll stay. It's not a software, they stay there. But they're really good scanners, guys. So definitely take advantage of it. And there's so much on here. As far as the stuff you could do, news and everything else. And someone mentioned on YouTube, it looks like this is going to eventually be a subscription. It will have to be, right? Because this type of information is a lot. Like this a lot. This is nothing is free, guys. There's nothing free. But why is in beta? Take full advantage of it, man. Sign up and right into the wheels fall off, right? So take advantage of it. You might like it than maybe the stuff you're using now, right? So yeah, right into the wheels falls off, man. You never know. So yeah, take advantage of it. It's completely free as we're in beta. Eventually something will happen there, but take advantage of it, and if you like it better than other stuff you're using, you might just have a new home for your scanners. But not everything there is going to be a charge, guys. Some stuff is going to stay completely free. Okay, let's take a look here. We have Eamon, Baba, long and potential short on plug. Peter, you'll be looking at AMD, Tesla, JD. Secondary list, COF and Rivian. Susan will be looking at Tesla, Nvidia. Secondary list, Baba, Meta, and Amazon. And Brian will be looking at Tesla, Nvidia, MU, and JD this morning. So there you have it, guys. Again, a little bit of a quiet start, although the markets don't seem too quiet, Peter. They're doing their thing here, moving aggressively. We'll see what today brings as we kick off this Monday.
Yeah, we got some okay volume so far this morning. I mean, not huge, but
Yeah.
okay. So we'll see what happens. I mean, I'm very hopeful, anyways, that we see better volumes than last week, and we get some good price
Yes.
action, one or the other. The open's always active and always fun. So we'll see what we get.
Yep, absolutely. Guys, take care. Have an amazing trading day this Monday, and we will see you guys tonight on the onboarding class. If you have signed up, we will see you tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern time. If you haven't signed up, go over to bearbootraders.com, and I'll write on there. You'll be able to see the intro membership. You can sign up for completely free. I think it's just $1 just to get you in to avoid the bots. And you can sign up and join the onboarding class this evening, plus access to a couple of courses in our education center. So take care, guys. Trade safe. We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Take care, everyone.